Hi, boys and girls. Today I'm going to show you how to take the facts that you wrote down from the Scholastic News Beach of Glass article and turn that into your informational writing piece by adding some sentence starters like I showed you last week. Here's some of our sentence starters that we had listed. There's plenty more, and you can even make up some of your own, which you'll see that I did. But here's just some that we can actually put at the beginning of some of the different paragraphs. You don't want to use it in front of every single sentence you write, but mainly at the beginning of each new paragraph or each new topic that you write, and maybe at the beginning of your opening and your closing statement. So what I've done is I have taken the facts that we wrote yesterday and I chose some sentence starters that I thought would make sense. I highlighted them so you will see you don't have to erase. You can just write these sentence starters in front of or up above the facts that you wrote and up above the opening and the closing statements. So you don't want to erase it. This is our rough copy. Remember, we'll go back and we will rewrite the whole story once we get it like we want it. So this is perfectly fine to just mark through or write it up above, however you want to do it. So what I did is I took my informational writing brainstorm and I added a title because you don't want to just call this informational writing. So I added a title underneath mine and I just put something nice and catchy. I put broken glass to beautiful glass. Remember, your title needs to tell what information you're actually sharing in your writing. So you can do something catchy like that. You can even put a question, like how broken glass can turn into beautiful sea glass or trash to treasure. Something catchy that will actually tell about what your information is being shared. So then I put for my topic sentence, I just added a sentence starter. I started off with, did you know? And then the rest of it I already had on there. So I put, did you know that there's a beach in California that is covered in beautiful sea glass? Well, remember that when you start off with something like, did you know? That is actually a question starter. So I needed to go back and change my period to a question mark, which you can easily do that without even erasing. And then I added a sentence with a sentence starter of let's take a look at. So I just added that to my topic sentence and said, let's take a look at how it got there. Then I went down to fact number 1, and I already had there 100 years ago, garbage trucks didn't pick up trash at our houses. So I just added it. It is interesting to note. And I added the word that because remember, when you add a sentence starter, you need to make sure that you don't need to add any other words or change some of your words so that your sentences make sense. So I had to add the word that to my sentence so that it now reads, it is interesting to note that 100 years ago, garbage trucks didn't pick up trash at houses. People took their trash to the beach and left it. People took broken dishes, old bottles, cans, and other, I'm not supposed to say cars, and other junk. So all of that was already there. All I had to do was add it is interesting to note that. Then I went down to fact number two and put, not surprisingly, people finally realized that throwing all that trash on the beach was bad for the ocean. And everything else in that paragraph was already there. So all I had to do was add, not surprisingly. And remember that whatever sentence starter you choose needs to go along with and make sense in whatever fact you're sharing. And then my fact number 3, I put, can you believe that the ocean turned the broken glass into smooth sea glass? So I turned that sentence into a question, starting off with, can you believe? And I went back and changed my period to a question mark. Then the rest of that paragraph was already there. And then I added a closing statement, starting off with a good sentence starter. And I put, it's amazing to think how a beach with beautiful jewels all started from broken glass thrown on the beach as trash. And that's just a one sentence to kind of sum up everything that I've shared. Remember, I told you that a closing statement is very similar to an opening statement. And so that's how I did mine. I just added to it. Remember, you don't need to erase. Just go back, add some good sentence starters, give yourself a nice title on your brainstorm, add your closing statement, and then after you're finished, we'll come back with a video to take this brainstorm and show you how to rewrite it into your final copy of your informational sheet.